Look, Clint, there's a lot of rumours flying around about Ellen Degeneres lately.
Yeah.
In the last couple of months, I mean, there's stories coming out of the woodwork saying that she's not very nice.
Yeah.
And we have a person who is saying that exact thing. She's come out and said that Ellen wasn't very nice to her back in 2014 when she served her at a vegan restaurant. Her name is Farrah, and she joins us on the phone right now. Welcome, Chris.
Hi, hello.
Are you aware that you are taking on the Ellen Degeneres Corporation and there is a unmarked SUV waiting outside your house right now?
I am in fear of my life, but at the same time, aren't we all during this quarantine? So what's real new?
Well,
about
I mean, if you're going to do it, now is probably the time.
It is probably a good time. Chris, I want you to run us through, because you actually came out and tweeted on board this thread that was saying that Ellen isn't very nice in real life. What was the story that you shared with people online?
Okay, yeah. So just so you know, it's completely true. It's not my best time, but let me tell you. So I am an actress and comedian in Los Angeles, and as one is during their first coming up years, I took a job as a waitress. It was the first vegan restaurant in Los Angeles, and so we got a lot of celebrity clientele. We had a brunch every Sunday, and it was like the who's who. I mean, I would serve like Tobey Maguire and his family.
Wow.
I served Usher a bunch of times. I served like Jason Bateman or Elizabeth Berkley or Leonardo DiCaprio used to come in. I mean, it was...
So we're talking top of the list, A-list stars were coming in.
Yes.
And were any of them big meanies? Was Leonardo DiCaprio a big a-hole to you?
Not at all. Everyone was super nice.
Okay, and then it comes to Ellen.
So Ellen used to come in a lot, so much so that she had like a relationship with the owner. Also, the kitchen would open up before our restaurant opened and make her meals to go to her studio every day. She came in, I was working brunch. I had done what's called a clop-in, meaning I had like less than a 10-hour turnaround. So I had chipped some of my nail polish at night, and I didn't have time to either get a fresh mani or like do my nails and have them dry before I had to come back and open the restaurant.
When you spoke to her, Chris, was she nice to you? Were her and Portia like, you know, what was the interaction directly like between you guys?
Nothing was negative, but I would say she definitely wasn't warm. She kind of was staring at me most of the time, like big-eyed and sort of uncomfortable was what I would say her overall vibe was. Nothing happened during the meal that was like, you know, bad. I was very lovely and warm. So this is fine. I go about my life. A week later, my manager goes, Chris, did you serve Ellen when she came into brunch the other day? And I say yes immediately, A, because it's true, and B, because in my mind I was like, oh my God, yes, she wants to use me for like a comedic bit on her show.
Yeah, you're going to get Ellen famous.
You're going to get one of those Shutterfly big checks.
Yeah, exactly. I wanted a big check. I wanted to do a comedy bit. Maybe they just thought I was a cute vegan waitress. And then they look at each other, two managers. They look at each other and they look at me and they're like, well, she ended up writing a letter to the owner and complained about your chip nail polish.
Really?
And I was like, what? And they were like, yeah, which is, and I get this, a violation of dress code, so we are going to have to suspend you.
Really?
Oh.
So what ended up happening is I had worked there for 10 years, and I felt so bad about this, and I felt annoyed by it that I ended up quitting. So that's how it went down. And I think that overall, do I realize that having chip nail polish isn't the best thing for a waitress to have? Yes, of course I do. But I just, in a billion years, wouldn't write a letter about it and try and, like, mess with someone who served me.
We don't think it's that big a deal here in New Zealand.
No,
to have
absolutely
chip nail
not.
polish.
I don't think I'd write a letter unless someone, like, you know, took a dump on my table or something.
Yeah, right? We're going to ask you the real obvious question, though,
Yeah.
Chris. And please don't think this is rude. I'm just interested in your answer. Why are you telling your story now in 2020 about Ellen?
Well, I have had this as part of my stand-up for years.
Yeah.
And I've talked about it before in the set because the minute that it happened, I knew that it was a hilarious, ridiculous story.
Yeah.
What happened was someone just tweeted that they were going to give money to a food bank for tales about Ellen being mean. And I was like, A, it's a true story, and B, I want money to go to that food bank. And then what happened was, of course, that Twitter thread caught viral, and that's how I'm here.
And now you're talking
Right.
to people in New Zealand
And
about it.
you've gone viral.
Do you believe all the other stories that are out there about Ellen at the moment being not as nice as she
Yes.
could be? You do?
I know stories that are not just, my waitress story, and she isn't. She's just, for some reason, even as privileged as she is and as rich as she is, and especially with the veneer that she places out in the world of being super warm and lovely, she is in fact not. I have multiple instances of people I know. She is just elitist and out of touch and mean. She has
Do you
a
think,
meanness
Chris,
about her.
that you could put some of these, instances down to, we all have shit days. We all have bad days, where you're grumpy or you might, not act very nice towards people? Or do you think it's, more than that?
It's definitely a pattern of behavior. It's at her core who she is. She is just not nice. I have served people who are incredibly successful who are very lovely. There are people that are happy and warm and very successful and busy who radiate an appreciation and generosity to others because of their life. And she is just, unfortunately, for whatever reason, not one of them.
Does any part of you feel like you've killed Santa Claus?
Yeah. Yeah. There are many people that, love her, demeanor or love her fake character, honey. But here's the thing. The truth will set you free, and you have to be truthful. She is not that. She should realize and go to some therapy why she's veered away from that, if that's who she is at some time, and let's call it out. Let's call it out.
There you go. That is Chris Farrah from Los Angeles. She's one of the people who's joined the conversation to say that Ellen is actually, underneath it all, a bit of a meanie.